And now, Freelance Heroism presents Dragon Heist.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Freelance Heroism. My name is Dees.
And I'm Rachel.
And before we even get started, we just want to say thank you to everyone out there who donates to the Patreon, in particular those who donate at the producer tier. Rachel, would you like to let us know who they are?
I would love to. We want to say thank you to Duncan, Nate, Breakmeister, Rebecca, and Chris Sones. Thank you so much, everyone.
Beep boop. I am Robot. I say thank you. Beep beep. Robot. Engaging hug protocol. Right?
Right.
Trying to be more creative with it.
Okay.
How's it going? Is it doing good?
It was a little surprising. I wasn't expecting it.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's what they say about me. They say, Dees, you are surprising. And I was like, that is right.
Okay.
That is right. Would you like a blueberry? What? Yeah, I have these.
It's in your pocket.
Surprise! Ta-da! Blueberries. Oh, Rachel.
Yes.
You want to talk about a particular thing.
I do.
I want to talk about, another thing. We can't talk about the thing we want to talk about, so we're going to talk about this.
Yes.
Okay.
Earlier today, I saw a post from Bethesda celebrating the 20-year anniversary of Morrowind, which is the third Elder Scrolls game. And I love Morrowind. It is my favorite Elder Scrolls game. I prefer it over Skyrim or any of the others.
Yeah.
But it doesn't get as much love as Skyrim. It doesn't. And I actually played Morrowind when it first came out, 20 years ago when I was a kid, and it was like just immediately one of my favorite games. And it also did so much that I had never seen before in a game, and even to this day, like, I still think back on certain experiences I had in the game and just how amazing it was.
Example. Give me an example of what you mean.
So I'd never played a game before that had just random dungeons that you could happen upon and explore, and they weren't like a specific point of the plot. Right. So, like, if you went out in Morrowind, you go outside of a town, and pretty quickly you can find like just different like bandit caves or mining caves and things like that. And there's probably no one gave you a quest. It's like, hey, go check out this cave. Here it is on the map and do a thing. They're just there. They're just part of the world. And I'd never played a game that had something like that before. And I remember, just finding a cave, and like I went in, and then it loaded a new area. And just that, when I started playing it, I was like, oh my God, it has to load a whole new area for this? What? Like, what is happening?
That is kind of cool. That I think Elder Scrolls in general, though, the team that kind of makes Elder Scroll games, is very good at kind of making things feel interconnected without necessarily directing you to anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, I think Morrowind might be the first. I remember the first time I ever played Morrowind, I got on a fucking like a swamp bug.
Huh?
It had like long tendrils. They're called netch or whatever.
The silt striders.
Yeah. And it just kind of drugged me through like to another location. It was like when you get on a boat and go to a new continent. It was like that, and I was like, "This is crazy." And I just remember thinking, like, "How far did I travel?" And like, it was a good distance. Like at the time, games were smaller. Mm-hmm. You don't go from playing things like Mario and Mega Man and stuff like that, where everything's very, very rigidly constricted. Mm-hmm. To like pathway to having an open world experience like that, and not have it be dramatic. Like you can feel. There's a huge difference in the experience.
Yeah, I remember like with the silt striders, because you could only use those on coastal towns, and they weren't available in every coastal town. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, which in the concept of the world makes sense. But when you're I remember going to some tiny little, just a collection of like fishing shacks, and then being like, oh, I want to go to the big city, and then looking around and be like, where's the, so like I get to like some tiny town, I'm like, where's the Greyhound bus? There's not one here.
Yeah, because it uses the water. I think that there are benefits to Skyrim as opposed to Morrowind. Not the least of which is that there is the like uncanny valley. Like you have to approach the edge at some point. So like there's a like when you play a game that is a good game but is graphically not great.
Yes.
there is something that it. I mean, the first time when that's the newest thing, it's the best looking that you can have.
Absolutely. When I first played Morrowind, I was blown away by the graphics. I was like, oh my God, everything looks so realistic. And you look at it today, it looks like a loose collection of polygons that someone threw into a garbage can and shook around.
It's just absolute dog shit when you look at it now.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a lot of what it is that I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that something that looks graphically striking or accurate is immersive. I don't think there's anything wrong with having that be part of the feeling that you feel towards a game. Right. So like, but there has to be other factors too. I think Skyrim's a great game. I did not play it for a really long time while everyone else was talking about how great it was. I just didn't play it at all. And then I think like the 15th time they released it, I was like, I'm gonna play Skyrim, and then I played the shit out of Skyrim, right? And that's sort of, I mean, whenever you get to these experiences, even if it's way late, you can still enjoy them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm curious though, because it's been a long time since I actually played Morrowind, the original Morrowind, or number 3, whatever, I guess, not the original, but the first of its kind. But when I go to Vardenfell in ESO now, I spend all my time there and it's comfortable. Like other places I go to, but it always feels like I'm somewhere else, somewhere foreign. But when I come back to Vardenfell in Vivek City, that feels like home.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't know what it is about it. Because I'm not particularly a fan of mushrooms and they're everywhere. But I don't know how to explain it, but it does feel comfortable. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe it's just in general Morrowind. You identify with Morrowind as like a kind of, when you were first getting into open world games, that's the one that feels like home. So maybe that's why you feel like a connection to it.
Could be. Yeah, it was definitely the first, because I'd played RPGs before and I'd played fantasy type games before, but never really like an open world like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's a game that's like that. I think MMOs do a good job of it. I think Orgrimmar always sort of feels like home in World of Warcraft, and Bastok City in Final Fantasy 11 feels like home to me. I spent a lot of time there. And now Vivek feels like home. It's interesting how you can find those in the digital world.
Yeah. Yeah, when I played EverQuest 2, there were certain zones that I just loved. I loved going to.
Yeah.
And they just felt really
comfortable. Yeah,
they felt really comfortable. The layout was really nice. I knew where everything was and everything kind of made sense for how it was connected.
Do you ever have a zone that does the opposite, where you just get stressed out just being there?
In EverQuest 2, there was a zone. It was in like the halfling area, but the way to get to the zone was like weirdly hidden, so you didn't really see a lot of people in it. And there was this really weird, like it was connected to the halfling starting zone, but it was a higher level, and it looked very much like the Shire, but it had been taken over by like demons and lamias.
Ooh.
And I spent a lot of time there because I was farming for like these really rare drops. But even though I spent so much time there, I could never figure out why this place had been invaded by these demons. And it was honestly really unsettling to be in the Shire. And then there's like a giant red demon with like a flaming whip just walking around.
I absolutely never got comfortable in Final Fantasy 11. I never got comfortable with this place called Valkurm Dunes. Fuck that place. I hate it. Look, I was max level. I had my AF gear. Like, I was a bad dude when I first played that game, right? But every character that you level, every time that you level, you have to go through a particular location. Every time you switch jobs, you have to level that job up. You have to go through this area. You can level from 1 to 9 by yourself, to 10, whatever. But then from like 10 to 20, you have to be in this location, and you can't do it by yourself. You have to do it with a crew.
Okay.
Right? You have to join a group, a pickup group, and you have to pull mobs to level up through that area. It sucks so bad, right? There are these, you just have to pull a goblin back to your camp. Like you pick little spots and you pull one at a time, but sometimes I'll pull 2. Sometimes the guy who's pulling isn't very good and he'll get 3 or 4. And it just gets really chaotic, and those mobs will one-shot you, and if you die, you lose levels. It's really hard to deal with. And then every so often, like, it'll turn nighttime, and then these things called bogeys, that are like these ghosts, they'll just show up and they'll fuck you up at that level. Now, when I'm higher level, I can come back there and I'll fuck them all up, and it's not a problem. And they literally bomb me right next to me, and I just look at them like punk, and I shoot them with a bow, and they explode. And like, it's not hard, but I never got over the stress. When I see a bogey, even at high level, I would kind of panic for a second. I'm like, oh yeah, right. I'm a badass. I forgot. Like, but that area is just white sand, and then fucking goblins that'll fucking murder the shit out of you, and bogeys that'll just pop in and kill whole groups. Sometimes you'll zone in. You like walk through the zone area, and you'll get to the other side, and you'll just see people running, and you're just like, oh shit, where is it? Oh God, I never, even today, if you put me in that, I would be nervous.
It is interesting how places like that in games will still stick with us. Yeah,
I think Nate has that about Borean Tundra from World of Warcraft because of how many times he got ganked by spiders. we were just playing it recently, and like a couple months ago, and he gets off the boat, he goes outside, and it's just like 1,000 fucking of these little spider things.
Yeah.
Oh
no.
Gnarly. So is that kind of what you were talking about intro wise?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well,
this was a good conversation.
Good. We
How
should
long was
probably we've been talking for about 13 minutes at this point.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So why don't we go ahead and go to this week's episode?
Okay.
This is a Dragon Heist, episode 55.
Ooh, getting up there.
Cleaning out your clock.
I feel like we've done this one before.
We might have used this title maybe for one of our Curse of Strahd games.
Yeah, cleaning your clock is when we did the clock trade. And that guy tried to give me an expensive clock in payment. And
we didn't need that.
It doesn't matter if we need it.
It helps him. Now he can, if he keeps it, then he'll always know what time it is.
Yeah, it's time for him to pay me my money. Okay.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right.
She brings you guys in, and as you guys come in, you see a few people in the background, all masked up, done up. You can definitely tell they're masked lords in the room.
Hey, what's up, guys?
They don't say anything to you. They just kind of look at you.
Right.
Lady Silverhand, she motions you guys forward. Be at peace. The ones in the room I trust, but their identities must be hidden.
Yeah, that makes sense.
After what happened with Mert, it's
I imagine it would make people a little nervous.
More so, especially with the fact that something's happened to the stone and it's been missing. It's been taken from the guard watch, and we don't know how. Supposedly they swear they checked it in. They swear they had it, but it never reached. Yet the unit reached the place, and they're saying it was on the card, but when they reached there, it wasn't. So somebody somewhere.
Who are the guards? Are they still accounted for?
Oh, they're accounted for and in jail right now until we figure out what happened. But the issue is, I'm afraid that it's possibly that whoever is, what's the word? Blackmailing you has another agent in play or other agents in play, which means you need to cut them off. But I don't know if this helps, but supposedly there was a box of daggers that went missing as well. I don't know if it makes any sense to you guys. It was on the watch's list of items that were confiscated.
Yeah, didn't Dr. Midnight take those?
They were placed at the door under watch protective custody next to the stone, and the stone was placed on top of the box.
Back at.
I think it was Anders. Could have been anyone. There's loads of people interacting with those things.
Yeah.
The High Inquisitor, Mr. Ashburn, any of the knights.
I have Blastwind in not custody, but he is under house arrest.
It wouldn't have been Blastwind. He wasn't even there.
No, he did.
He made an appearance there. Blastwind is under house arrest. Anders is under house arrest. We do not think it was Sergeant Anders. Our best magicians have already cleared Anders and Blastwind of having anything in their minds. Somebody mentioned a rumor of a possible mind flayer involved.
Yeah, we're looking into that now.
It was part of the reason we were coming here to talk as opposed to having dinner. So,
Though I wouldn't turn down some food. I mean, I haven't eaten all day. We've been running all over. I had 2 surgeries in a row.
She snaps, bring him a plate.
You got a bowl? You got a bowl of sandwiches?
Just a plate. Just a plate.
They bring you out
on
a
it.
turkey leg. They bring you out a large turkey leg on a plate.
All right, that works.
Is it a peppered turkey leg?
You bet your ass it's peppered.
Oh, now you're doing callbacks. Now you're doing callbacks. She's getting us back. Well, I'm not gonna edit it. Yeah. I'm gonna look and realize that there's still some stuff on my arm that I didn't get with the towel. I'm gonna hit it with a turkey leg, knock it off.
But no, Lady Silverhand's also, that stone leads, as far as we know, to the hidden fortune.
So,
what is the hidden fortune?
And why would a mind flayer be interested in it?
They don't really seem the type to invest.
No, and I don't know what Rainier's father hid in that fortune. I'm not sure how much he amassed, but I know it belongs to the people of Waterdeep.
I'm gonna look at the Mass Lords, and none of you know.
If they did, they'd at least have a clue where he hid it.
Well, if the mind flayer's after something within the trove, that means someone knows what is contained there within. Otherwise,
how would they know?
How would they? We can't trust anyone at this point.
I'm more scared if he's using the money for an alliance, to pay for an alliance with someone.
I think we're hung up on money right now. It doesn't make any sense to me. If they were... Kavir's thinking to himself, after having interacted with these things and having a direct contact with this little worm that spoke to my brain, this is like a newborn fucking worm, able to project thoughts into the mind. I've been hit by a wave from this thing. There is a potency with which their mind can grab people. I do not believe for a minute that they would use something as inelegant as money to make a deal with someone. It seems much more in their nature to grab the mind of someone and manipulate them to do their bidding. And if money was required, they would not look for a treasure trove of it. They would just take it as needed. They wouldn't hoard it. It doesn't make sense that they would go, especially not take a hostage in order. It seems inelegant. Everything I've known about these things show them that their mind abilities are outstanding, more powerful than anything I've ever experienced. It doesn't fit for me that it's money.
Well, regardless of what it is, we can't let it have it.
And now we have to figure out who's pilfered it.
If it was an agent of the Flayer. Is anyone not accounted for?
Yeah,
Who?
Cedric.
Then I suppose we need to start tracking down loose ends.
Is there a list of everyone that was around it, or like at the warehouse? Like,
Lady Silvermoon, she waves over. She brings out a list. Here you go.
oh, thank you. So we could try to check these people, although I feel like we're in a bit of a time crunch.
Well, who on the list is currently in custody?
That would be everyone but 4.
Well, then we should probably start with those 4.
Who are the 4? Do they have it?
One is Isabel. We haven't been able to locate her.
Who is
Oh.
she?
We have
She was
one of the nobles you rescued. One of the nobles you rescued.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The other is the young magistrate boy Cedric, which they said he was banished without trial, which doesn't add up.
Mm-hmm.
Black Network or not, Cedric's family is extremely powerful, and it doesn't make sense that they would issue a banishment without either my authorization or the Blackstaff's.
Unless it was in order to get them out of the city with an item.
Well,
Not. She's like, and the other 2 is the High Inquisitor, which was cleared, checked and cleared, and then the last one would be Balloon War Dragon. But he's been a confidant for years.
That's irrelevant. In this particular instance, anyone can be,
Compromised.
compromise is a good word. Well, that lowers the list down to 3 then.
Well,
Since we have an interconnected path with Cedric, that would mean that he would be aware of us. He would maybe be aware of your sister and would maybe know what pivot point to use.
well, then I say we start with him first.
Thank you.
Of course.
I'm
Thank
gonna.
you.
I'm gonna put guards outside your residence for
No,
protection.
no,
All right.
no, thank you.
Would you like them outside your sister ship?
More people is not necessarily better in this instance, right?
These are all cleared by me.
Oh, I'm not trying to be disrespectful here because I know this lady's in charge of some shit, but I just thinking to myself,
No, I
what the hell
understand.
does that mean?
I understand, Kavir.
Outside my sister's ship is fine.
Adri, what about your family estate?
You can, but no one's staying there right now.
Yes. Have you two been able to locate your father yet?
I look at Rislin.
She looks over. He's in Undermountain. Her eyes get big. Why would he go there? Rislin shrugs. She looks at Rislin. Then we need to go to Undermountain.
I wanted after all this was over, I was gonna go there. So if you can wait, I can go with you.
She looks at Rislin. She nods. Then help your friends.
You won't leave without me. I'm going to incite Rislin that she's not going to go to Undermountain without me. Dang it!
She kisses you on the forehead.
I got an 8.
Sure.
Don't leave without me.
Uh-huh.
Rorden's still tracking down your brother.
Okay.
And I swear to God, we're never going to let him write spell scrolls again when we get a hold of him.
Good luck trying to enforce that.
So, but take my card outside, Rislin said. Cyril will take you anywhere in the city. The magistrate estate, it's not too far from here if you want to see if you can find Cedric at home. I'm not sure where to hunt down the young lad.
Sounds as good a place to start as any. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the information. Thank you for your help. And I make my pleasantries and I start heading out.
Mask guys, y'all killing it. Looking very cool today.
All right.
Have you tried this turkey leg? It's fantastic. I don't know.
Did you bring it with you?
Yes, he did.
No, I left it when I just threw it on the floor.
Well, I figured you'd finished it.
That's pretty big.
Where do you guys want the wagon to take you?
I guess to Cedric's residence.
All right. It's not too far.
We've been there before.
Yeah. So you guys get over there and it kind of, there's guards outside and you see Cedric's father outside actually yelling at the guards.
What's going on here?
Kavir. He looks over. By Lady Silverhand's orders, they will not leave.
Nope.
I told you the boy's not here.
I'm going to want to take a look around anyway.
Let me guess. Lady Silverhand sent you?
She said that we could look into this. She did not send us intentionally here, but we have to take a look around because everyone in this entire area is in danger. If you are a true and loyal citizen of this realm, you're going to let me into your house and let me take a look around.
He kind of just looks up and he curses under his breath in another language and yeah, come on in.
Thank you. Guys,
follow.
I'm going to look at the guards. Like, turn your head left.
They do.
Right.
They do.
Ears look all right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Keep up the good work, boys.
Good luck in there. You guys enter the estate, or through the doors to the estate.
How many
The
doors did this place have?
2 large ones in the front, and then it's a large garden to the front door.
There's no back doors?
There's a few
Windows?
doors. There's windows, service doors, everything.
I'm going to motion to one of the guards before we walk in. And I'm going to kind of give them a signal for go around the back and watch the windows.
We have a Griffin patrol circling the sky.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll go inside then.
So he walks you guys down the large garden path. The sculptures in the garden are a little more interesting than they were the night of the party.
Why is that?
Some have more horns than not. They don't exactly look fayish, but some of them are a little more abstract, but they could just kind of like have this off sense about them. As you guys walk in, you know his name is Frit. His wife's name is Eva. His eldest son, Cedric's older brother, is kind of just sitting on the stairs looking out. So he finally gave in, huh? He's
Gave
like,
in?
Guards wanted to come in earlier, but Dad said no. We have a right to our privacy.
Well,
Get off my lawn.
We're here under slightly different circumstances.
You're looking for Cedric too, right?
Yes, but probably for slightly different reasons than the guards are.
No worries.
We're trying to help him.
He wants to help Cedric.
We do.
He's nothing. He's worthless. All he does is run around the city and get in trouble.
He's done a lot more than you.
Zang.
So he did make friends.
Don't worry, pal. You'll get there one day.
Just kind of scoffs and I'll be back, Father. Nods.
Hold on. Left. Look left.
He does.
Look right.
He does.
How's his ears look?
Fine.
I'm gonna take my leather bag
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna wiggle it in front of him.
He just kind of like, and
All right, get out of here, kid.
enjoy the company, Dad, he says as he walks out.
I keep expecting you to like lick your pinky finger and just shove it in their ear like a wet willy at some point.
I noticed that ear is probably the easiest way to get into someone's head that they wouldn't notice, right? Maybe a mouth, it's a risk of teeth or biting or whatever. Right. You could do it through the eye, I guess, but I think that would be pretty obvious with blood vessels and whatnot. You'd notice that.
Eye, nose, mouth, ears. I mean, well, and other, but we won't get into that.
That would be a long journey.
Yes, it would.
Now, that's like the Oregon Trail for fucking my place.
Yeah, and there is dysentery involved potentially. I just, in thinking about what was done to us when we were checked, they swabbed in our ears, right? I mean,
yeah.
I'm gonna kind of step Rain and Kavir to the side. Like, I don't think Cedric's here. He didn't really get along with his family. I don't think he would hide out here.
That would be the reason I would check here, though.
But I don't think they're really inclined to help him.
That's fair.
So safe to say he had nothing here worth stopping to get?
Not to say there wouldn't have been a clue that we were close too, so it was worth checking.
Yeah.
He said he was going to leave, correct?
Well, I mean, he was getting banished. He didn't have a choice.
Well, then he made the decision to not. As we talked to him.
No, I thought he was still going to leave.
D-Walk, can you give me a hand here?
I'm pretty sure the last interaction was at the villa where they walked him out in chains and told him he was banished.
Okay.
Now they did say that they were looking for him again
Yeah.
there, where they had banished him, and someone's like, "Well, do we need more answers out of him than this? Someone
No,
find him."
Okay.
So you guys are in the Margaster estate. What
Well,
would you like to do?
It's not looking good for him if he was talking about sewer shit, right? Staying off the radar,
Yeah.
interacting with shady figures at the docks. I mean, this is just out of character things that I'm talking about.
No, I know. And I mean, if not for him, we may not have made it out alive.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
But it might have been, I don't know.
well, I mean, was it a necessary evil, for a lack of a better way of putting it, that he had to step in and save us in order to carry out whatever else it was he was trying to carry out?
That is where they found the things, right? He might have needed our help to handle the other guy.
The knives were, I mean, everything.
Right now, we don't really have a direct way to look for him. So maybe the other two threads will pan out or point in a direction where we can follow it back to him.
Yeah, because from
two other names. Right now, we don't have anywhere other than maybe the sewer.
Yeah. No, Isvale was the noble that we were looking for.
That should put them pretty close. The other one's the High Inquisitor that was already accepted as
checked and cleared. So,
and then
or
Dragon something,
Maloon War Dragon.
Your war buddy, the old soldier.
Okay.
The one that was running the investigation at the place.
Well, let's between a noble woman and a grizzled war veteran, which of the two do we think are more likely to be able to carry out some of the things that might need to be carried out in order to secure this stone?
Depends on the level of conspiracy here.
Right. But I mean, I'm just saying War Dragon probably has more access to, I mean, if he were to walk up and if things were supposed to be taken care of, I could easily see him telling someone outside the villa, "Hey, I'm going to go take this to such and such," and there would be no reason to question him. That's noble fair. Woman really isn't going to have much of a connection to it.
Right, but she was in the building with the other.
She was in the, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't check her out. I'm just.
Oh, for sure. I think if we have to choose one of the two, we definitely choose Maloon first. But
yeah,
we're also working on a clock here.
Right, which is
why
I'm
thinking.
If the
other person's 2 doors down and the other person's on another quarter, then we should...
okay. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I'd say then that if this isn't going to bear any fruit, let's go see who's the next closest person to track down.
Right. I mean, within justification. If it's like in the same place, let's pick them first. They're already here.
Sure.
But if they're equally distant or relatively close to distant from where we're at, then let's check on Homeboy first.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Well, then we'll take our leave of Frit and Eva, and
all right.
Take the cart. And
so you guys don't check any rooms or anything, just leave after you walking in?
No, I mean I'm checking the rooms. We're already there. It seems silly not to, since we're already in the room.
All right.
Sure.
I was gonna have a dad have a little blow up. So you walk in my house and don't even look at it.
No, I mean we check. I just open the doors. I'm not gonna like scour. I'm starting to get the vibe. They've convinced me sort of in our group that the family's not necessarily super tight with him, and this doesn't seem like a place he'd come to hide out. But since we're already in the house and I've already called it the favor of letting us in, it'd be stupid not to open the doors.
Okay. So while you're doing that, I'm gonna approach Eva.
All right. She's in the banquet hall at the table, eating grapes as she sips her red wine.
Oh, she's going double tannins.
Yeah, I was about to say. Madam?
Sorry.
How are you doing, Mr. Rainier?
I've been better. Look.
I mean, Rain.
Yeah.
Damn it. Sorry.
I was gonna say something, but I didn't want to interrupt the flow.
Yeah, take two.
All right.
I was just
Me
gonna
too.
delete you saying that when I
Yeah.
edited this.
Yeah. Mr. Rain, welcome.
Well, thank you. I do apologize for having to barge into your home under these circumstances, but I'm going to level with you. I know that you and Cedric and your family in general probably don't see eye to eye with one another, but you're a mother, and I know that matronly bond is strong no matter what. So I have to imagine that somewhere deep down you do care about your son and his well-being. And I don't want to see anything bad happen to him any more than I want to see anything bad happen to my sister. Right now, her life is at stake. And I believe your son could help. Or at the very least, we may be able to help him help us. I don't expect you to understand that, but you just have to trust me on this. So if there is anything you know that you're maybe not telling anyone else, and I do that with a persuasion check of 22.
Ooh.
She looks at you. Cedric left this family when he made a choice years ago. But we did pay that Tiger's Eye detective to hunt him down one time, to track him to see what he was up to.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a half-orc in the Yawning Portal named Yarga that he has been known to contact. I believe it's one of his black contacts, black network, I believe, contacts. His also he would spend time at the Isvel estate.
Oh, really?
He has been sighted there a few times.
Interesting.
As well as the docks a lot. It seems that once he discovered his grandfather's heritage, he decided that was the family he chose, not the one in the house. His grandfather was a Luskan pirate.
That had been
My father.
Well, all right. That's actually very useful information. Thank you.
Tell him not to come back if you find him.
I can do that. Thank you.
It's probably for his own safety.
I would agree with that. Yes, ma'am.
And I'm not saying from the guards, I'm saying from my husband.
Yeah, I sensed a little tension there, but no, trust me. I will certainly pass that message on. Thank you for your time. And I will turn and I will go back to find the other.
I'm gonna be clobbering down the stairs. Clomp, 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 clomp.
Mr.
Alrighty.
Kavir.
I'm gonna help you.
Well, it would appear that Cedric has been spending some time at the Isvel estate, which is
No way.
Yeah. So maybe we shift our line of thinking and try there first. However, if that doesn't pan out, I maybe have one other contact we can go find. It seems that Cedric's mother still has motherly feelings for him, enough that she was willing to tell me a few things she might not otherwise. So if we can't find anything there, perhaps we stop by the Yawning Portal on the way to see Mr. War Dragon, if we need to go that far.
I'm gonna look around. Where's Adri?
trying very quietly to like open a panel on this grandfather clock that they have in one corner, just because I want to see like the working parts inside. I'm like trying to. I've got like a screwdriver in my mouth. I'm just like very quietly trying to like pry open the panel because I want to see all the working parts.
Miss Adria, I don't think Cedric is in the clock.
Well, no, she might be onto something. Go ahead.
Rachel, give me actually, I don't want the stealth check. I want a
I just think grandfather clock, grandfather Luskin pirate.
Give me
yeah.
a profession check.
What would that be?
It would be a profession check back in the day, but not. Yeah, it would be a couple years back.
Yeah, that would be a few years back. Let me hold on. I'm trying to figure out what
a performance check.
No, it'd be.
Would this be animal handling?
Mm.
I guess intelligence.
Okay.
No, it depends on how are you doing it. Is more the question.
Well, I would be using my tinker's tools to
sleight of
just
hand.
Try to open the panel.
Well, she's approaching it from a knowledge angle, I would assume.
Yeah.
Being that it's crafting. So it's either are you going with book-based knowledge or are you going with
But she's not studying it.
self-taught?
She's actually trying to break it open.
Then wisdom, I guess. Wisdom would probably be the best role.
I'm not trying to break it. I mean, I'm proficient in like a lot of different types of tools, so I would assume that I could look at it and figure out, oh, I need to like unscrew this and then slide this panel and then like do some other stuff.
I'm just
so I can
seeing
open
if you roll a 1 so I can have the clock blow up.
How dare you?
I just think if it's clockwork, right? That's a very dexterous hand gesture trying to. So that's why I was thinking sleight, but it's like
again, I like whoever's idea came up with the grandfather clock thing, and grandfather Cedric.
All right, what am I adding to my roll? Just an intelligence check?
Yeah, give me intelligence.
Okay.
With advantage.
Okay. 22.
Yeah, you're successfully taking this thing apart piece by piece. So much that you actually do find a small book inside.
I immediately take that and just like put it in my armor.
It's literally like 2 inches by like 3 inches. A small little notebook.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking that. I'm gonna kind of at a glance assume that maybe it's like the care for guide, and then I can study it. I don't want to look at it here, so I'm just gonna like very quickly
You're taking the owner's manual and the warranty is what you're doing.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm taking.
You're gonna leave it in pieces?
And then I'm gonna write a label that says, to my dear daughter Adri, for your 78th birthday, I'm gonna slap that sticker on the back, and then I'm gonna report that these people stole my clock.
This isn't the first time Adri's had an issue with a clock. We tried to get payment from people one time, and they offered us a clock.
Oh,
she wouldn't accept it.
Wouldn't accept it. No.
And
they needed it. They needed it more than we did.
Right, because they needed to know what time their whole family goes murdered.
But then I'm gonna look back and I'm gonna see Rain and Kavir just staring at me. We're just gonna like close the panel.
My jaw slightly dropped.
I haven't.
And the 9 hells are you doing?
It's
young lady.
Gnomish craftsmanship. I wanted to see what it looked like.
So you just started taking apart somebody else's clock?
Yeah.
I took apart somebody else's clock earlier 2 times.
Oh, hush you!
I just wanted to.
You just don't walk into people's homes and start disassembling things.
They let you do that at the Temple of Gond.
Well, this is not the Temple of Gond, is it?
I did that all the time.
Did you take
there.
something out of it?
We should go. Aren't we on like a time limit?
I don't know. You're the clock.
And then I point at the clock and be like,
Give me.
I don't know. It's just the owner's
Gimme.
name. I just want to.
Gimme.
We shouldn't look at it while we're in their house. That seems.
Well, you shouldn't have taken their clock apart. I
That's
think
why
I think I've got a
That's why-
solution for everyone. How about you mail it to you, and then you'll intercept it before he gets it, and then we'll all be happy.
I'm gonna head to the carriage that we have, and I'm gonna hop in.
I look
And
around
I'm
to
gonna
see if
immediately take
anyone
a-
in the house has noticed what is
There's a
happening.
maid looking at you guys down the hall now. Like, and
I
she's just-
walk over. I grab her by the hand. I open her palm. I put 3 gold pieces in it. I close her fist and say, "You saw nothing."
She hands you back one. Not all of us hated Cedric.
I'm gonna toss her the turkey bone and be like, "Here."
clean this up.
Not all
It's
of
her
us.
job.
Not all of you hated
And
Cedric.
she stops you. Do tell him not to come back.
Well, I've been told that already.
No, I know, but they mean it out of malice.
You don't want him to come back either?
Not for his safety.
Aw.
You wouldn't happen to know where he is.
No. I was one of the ones telling him to run away for the last 5 years.
Insight check.
Yeah, Rachel's insight taking apart a clock.
20.
She's telling you the truth.
Why were you telling him to leave?
She kind of looks around really cautiously at this point. And she turns you around and has you look towards where your friends are in the open area. And she begins to trace with her hand a giant star in the floor with an elongated point in the Asmodeus cult symbol. And now that you're that far away, you see it when she points it out in the floor. But if you're standing on it, it's too large for you to actually see.
See it, right.
So
she traces this out. And I'm aware of what this means.
She's like, you've heard of the rumors of the devil cult.
Well, it's been
And the
mentioned
nobles?
once or twice, yes.
The parents, Felix. Members. Cedric's not.
I see.
He chose his grandfather's heritage over them.
Well, I'll make sure he doesn't come back then.
She nods. And begins to walk down the hall cleaning, minding her business.
All right. Have you put that clock back together yet?
I just like shut the panel, and then you tried to take my book, so I literally went out to the carriage to sit in it and read the book that I got.
Yeah. So I turn. Have you fixed that clock yet? And there's no one standing there, and I'm
What are you talking about?
All right. Let's head over to the Isvale estate. I'm wondering if Cedric might not be making a stop by there. And if not, then we can at least see the next person on our list.
Right.
What's my book say, David?
Your
It says-
ledger is a list of names. By now, you actually recognize Cedric's handwriting.
Oh,
His parents are on the list, and quite a few other noble families are on the list.
maybe other people that are in this cult.
It would probably be a safe assumption.
I will.
If Cedric was keeping a ledger,
What's the book look like?
it's a small little paper, leather wrapped, 3 inches by 2 inches.
Okay. I haven't been told anything about any of this stuff yet. I haven't heard anything from Nate about his discovery. I haven't heard anything from Rachel about hers.
Oh my
I
god,
am-
it sucks when people don't want to like tell you stuff.
I know. That's cool though. Rachel's like not even passive aggressive anymore. Now it's just aggressive.
Um,
Sorry.
are there any names I recognize on the ledger?
Let me see. Yeah, you do recognize actually quite a few of the names on the list.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, you recognize the Braeluns, the Castellanters, the Collins, and the Anthakara. You actually recognize the Anthakatharas from the actual the party you guys went to. They were there as well.
Mm. Okay.
So
I will show the book to the other two. Explain what I think it is.
okay, it takes you guys. It's about 10 minutes to get to the other estate, but she shows you guys the book.
What is this?
Well, this is Cedric's handwriting. So this seems to be maybe a ledger. It's nobles, so I'm guessing it's people in the weird devil cult that he said his parents are in.
Weird devil cult.
Yeah, he told me his parents are in like a devil cult.
Yeah. The maid confirmed as much.
What devil?
Does it matter?
Asmodeus.
Huh.
Huh.
I see the book.
Yeah, here.
I'm gonna open it. I'm gonna flip through it slowly, trying to read all the names independently. How many names are in there?
Easily 20.
Family names, not individuals, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm gonna slam the book closed. I'm gonna hand it back to Adri. So interesting times we live in.
What exactly is that supposed to mean?
It's supposed to mean what the words mean. These are interesting times we live in.
Well, all right.
Most people, wouldn't do that.
Well, apparently these aren't most people. All right. I think we need to get to the Isvale Manor as quickly as possible. We may be able to catch Cedric there if he decided to stop by.
I want to start like kind of in secret, not hiding it necessarily, but not making it apparent what I'm doing. Open my notebook that has all of my recipes in there, and I'm going to start scribbling out a few of the names real small in some of the corner of the book while we're having our conversation.
All right. As you guys pull up to the Rosnar estate, which is Esvil's last name, it's not as nice as Cedric's. But Rain, you know the history of the family. They were actually run out of Waterdeep for their crooked ways back in the day. It's just since Esville and her sisters have returned that they've tried to bring their name back.
And crooked ways as in like white collar crooked or hail Satan crooked?
Oh, no, white collar crooked.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no. Not those kind of crooked ways.
Gotcha.
Convicted of slave trading, which is highly illegal in Waterdeep.
That doesn't sound like white collar.
And the family was banished over 100 years.
Yeah. Okay. So safe to say the mana's a little run down.
Yeah. Not really a lot of respect from the other nobles, really.
Okay.
It's a few that do.
Okay. Well, I mean, take us up to the front door.
As you guys do, it's not a bad house. It's pretty large. So I'm assuming you guys knock at the door.
Yep.
The door opens and you see Astrid Isvel's younger sister, the middle of the three. She looks over. Oh, Mr. Trichet. It took you this long to ring.
I like
Gee.
elbow Rain.
And I thought we had such a glorious time at the party.
I want to hand her one of my wine skins. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were thirsty.
I am for a tall glass of water.
Yeah, well, I'm all dried up. Listen,
Gross.
uh,
Gross. Implications of that are gross. I'm all dried up.
well, I could have said,
God damn it, Lindsey Graham.
I
I'm all dried up at the moment. Thank you.
could have said I'm very short, but
I'm positively crispy down under.
my nether regions are as as dry as the
No,
dust
you
bowl.
don't. You don't have. You do not have to finish that.
I'm fudge striping, baby. I make cookies in a tree, bitch.
She's like, oh, Lady Adri.
Hey,
And she looks at you. Big armored guy from outside bonfire.
And
Hey,
other.
we've met.
Hey, come on in.
Thank you.
We're here to see Isville.
She's like, I'm not supposed to let anyone see her. She's the whole kidnapping thing just messed with her head, and she said,
I totally
But
understand.
if-
we were
but you-
there.
"That's what she said."
Hmm.
And I know my sister would love to thank her heroes, the ones that saved her. So this
Go
way.
get her.
Oh no, she's in the back.
I will head in.
So she starts leading you guys to the back. As
Mhm.
she walks by, a maid comes out with a tray and glasses. She picks one off of it. Wine, as she
thank
continues
you.
to walk. Rain, you said you're dry. Please drink up.
Moisten yourself. Moisten yourself for me, sir. I want you positively dripping.
I take the glass, and as we continue to walk, I kind of do the, oh, this is fantastic, over my shoulder.
I love how many things in this game are an exact replica of our first game. It's so good. That was unintentional even. That's what I did when your dad poured me that glass of wine. when he was flirting with me, remember?
Uh-huh. Yeah, so similar circumstances.
Yeah.
So you guys continue to the back, and as you guys get closer, you hear the sound of a thunk. And about a couple seconds later, another thunk. As the closer you guys get to the back.
Yeah, what is this thuck noise we are hearing?
What the fuck is going on?
As you guys exit out the back doors into what is the large garden at the back, you see Esvel standing back there with a table of knives next to her, throwing them into a target across the way from her, nailing it one after the other.
Are these knives coming out of a familiar box?
No, they just seem like throwing
they're-
daggers.
They're just your random garden variety knives that everybody
Mhm.
carries around. Oh,
Yeah,
I
you
see.
never played stabby throwy?
No.
The best.
She looks over. Astrid, I said no guests.
We're not
But
guests.
they're your heroes. She like exclaims by waving her arms wide, and the wine kind of spills as she swings. Oh, don't want to spoil that. Another glass. And she takes a sip. Oh, Rain, you finished. Another one for Rain.
No, that's okay.
She
Jesus
like
Christ, it's
I
gonna
waves.
be-
insist.
She
We've been
waves her
doing it.
glass. It doesn't even come near to splashing Rain, and she's like, "Oh, let me get that," and she starts patting at him with a handkerchief.
Look,
This
I'm
bitch
really
is
not.
about to start doing a wine keg stand.
I'm really. I'm really not
So-
into women that can't hold their liquor.
Esfa looks over and she like, welcome to our home. Sorry, it's not as glorious as some places can be.
I used to live in a room with an anchor in the middle of it. I'm not really one to judge, ma'am.
I live in a closet.
I
Liv-
stay silent.
Hey, Astrid,
Thanks for listening to Freelance Heroism Plays Dragon Heist. If you would like to support us, please check out our Patreon. We're at patreon.com/freelance_heroism. We have different things there. Character journals, art, bloopers, stuff like that.
Our cast includes me as Dr. Kavir the Raven, Rachel as Adri the Highborn Artificer, Nate as Rain Trichet, Dockside Officiant, and of course, D-Walk as Dr. Midnight, and everybody else in the game. Thanks for listening to Freelance Heroism Plays Dragon Heist, and we don't invoice in this group. We'll be back next week with more episodes, so stay tuned. These fucking bimbo warlords. That's a follow up to no, I'm not gonna remember the name of the movie. God damn it. Bimbo warlord.